So this video is my first Patreon exclusive video. So welcome you guys. I'm so excited to have you all here and part of my Patreon community. Right now my channel is, I've been slowly starting to get into it and kind of see what works for me and what sort of content that I think is I don't know, like figuring out what I want my Patreon to be all about. So yeah, right now I'm actually talking to an empty room. I know I don't have any patrons just yet, but should that happen in the future and I have adopted some of you guys along the way, then this is for you and I'm so happy to have you here. So right now I'm going to be showing you guys kind of a little bit of how I start my paintings off. I had done a YouTube video about this with this particular piece actually just a few minutes ago, so you should have already seen that video up on YouTube. And if that's where you're here from, then welcome. I'm so happy you guys are here. So yeah, we're just gonna get right into it. Right now, my painting has dried and we're going to be adding a little bit more layers onto it. So, all right. So the camera is rolling, my surface is dry, and now let's take care of some of this craziness here. So I still have, from earlier, a lot of the black paint. So we're going to start with that. I'm going to add on another thin layer over what I had already started. Want to kind of give the painting a little bit more of a full look. I mentioned in my YouTube video when I started this piece that I just hate the look of just plain, or I hate having so much surface that's just not finished. I feel like even if it's not all pretty just yet, if there's paint on there, at least that's a start. All right. And I'm going to be needing to add some paint onto my palette here because I'm running low now, but I'm happy I could at least get this first section started off. So let's see, instead of me sitting here babbling, what should I talk about? So why don't we talk about why I started this Patreon channel? So as you guys may or may not know, in September of 2018, I quit my job, which I had been working as a server or waitress or whatever you guys want to call it, at a restaurant, and that restaurant was Denny's, and I had pretty much been there since high school. I worked the same job for so long, even after I got out of all of my training for the military, also in the Air Force, in the Reserve. I don't talk a lot about that, but even after all of my training for that happened, Gosh, I'm really bad at multitasking, I see. I stuck with the same job and for just years and years and years, and there's a lot of different reasons for why I disliked it so much. But I had just hated working there, like absolutely hated. Like my mood was so bad all the time. My husband has said that he's noticed a super duper change in me, which is great because now I'm doing what I love, but it's been several months now, and guys, it's really hard transitioning to being an artist full-time after you're leaving your steady income job. I mean, we've cut costs pretty much, like all around the board, but And we're making it by fine, don't get me wrong. It's just going from, pretty much double income to, or I guess having your income halved. I suppose that's a better way to put it. Can just be really crazy. So yeah, so I had started Patreon. I'm sorry guys, you're gonna see on your screen, or on my second screen here, that my painting is getting like a little bit funky looking. But this is all part of me mapping out the initial beginning stage of the painting. Oh, crooked nose. This is so silly looking. Yeah, so since we went from having that double to having our income halved, I really wanted to try to come up with a way to make this more steady income. And with art, oops, like all over the place, guys. I'm sorry. Maybe it's because I know I'm being like watched. With art, there is no for sure ever of how much money you're going to make every month. And I figured through starting my Patreon, I would give you guys, or give myself maybe even, that's a better way to put it, an opportunity to make that more steady income through different tiers. My first tier, which maybe you guys are in that first tier, and that's merely $1 a month. I'm not saying that I am more appreciative of one tier than another. Just the fact that you guys are here watching means that you're supporting me in some way, even if it is that $1 a month. I am so grateful, you guys. I can't even tell you. So every little bit helps, even if it just is enough to help me to buy more supplies. That's just amazing to me. So yeah, I know. Oh, I just dropped a bunch of paint. I kicked it all over the floor. Good thing they're closed, right? Goodness. What was I saying even? Gosh, what was I saying, you guys? I know I was talking about Patreon. This is perhaps like my fear of starting live videos, because I blank out so much, you guys, and then I talk and I don't even know like what I was saying, and then people don't know what I'm saying, and then we're both sitting there confused, and it gets awkward, and it gets really weird at that point. So I apologize ahead of time if that's what's actually going on right now, which it might be, who knows. Take a look at my reference I've got over here, and I know this all looks pretty crazy, like why are you outlining with red, but I found that especially on the face, I like to use a lighter color that's easily able to get painted over and blended over. So this is kind of me reinforcing my pencil strokes and where I had mapped everything out originally. Sorry, I got a notification from Facebook right there. But yeah, so just the fact that you guys are here watching this video just means so much to me, because let's face it, it's not easy for artists out there getting started. And I know I have sold pieces in the past, but just trying to get by off of mere selling paintings alone as an income isn't really a good idea, I should say. Forgive me for lack of a better description, but I just feel like you never know when a painting is going to sell, and especially with original artworks, those are very, very expensive. Oops, went in out of my... Make sure my camera's still recording. Yeah, so all in all, sorry, I keep getting distracted and like going on tangents, but all in all, this is just a way for me to gain some extra income a month, and I appreciate you guys are here. No matter the tier that you chose, it really means a lot to me, you guys, and that's coming straight from the heart. So my husband and I are trying to start a family. So that's another reason for me starting a business and working from home, becoming an artist full time, is that we're hoping to have little ones here in the near future, if all goes well. Don't worry, more to come on that for if that does happen. You guys will know, trust me, I will tell you. Yeah, so this is the first time I'm doing a video like this on Patreon, and honestly, it's because I'm very slow when it comes to technology, and right now is literally when I just figured out how to like do it all without, I'm really bad. I'm terrible. But I finally learned how to do it, and here we are. And we're doing it. We're doing it together. So with the red, you guys can see I'm just kind of reinforcing all of my pencil earlier, looking at my reference photo. Just doing a little bit of mapping out for the big parts of the painting. This red is obviously going to get covered up. One of the reasons I like doing red, especially on the body and around where you're going to see the character's skin, is because a lot of the times, or at least with the way that I paint, a lot of the times you're going to be able to see little bits and pieces of the red popping through in different spots on the character's face, and I feel like that really adds a kind of a definition and, I don't know, just like an interesting aspect. Which I'm sure there's a more technical reason, but I'm like with color theory and everything, but like I said, I'm self-taught, I'm learning. I don't know how to accurately describe that for you rather than me saying it looks interesting. So I'm gonna leave that at that. I mean, at what point do you stop calling yourself a new or like a beginning artist? Because I feel like even the masters, like we're all always improving, we're always learning, and there's always new things to, like new ways that we can improve. That ear is a little bit funky, but my reference, it's a little bit difficult. So can you guys guess from looking at this, which actually, yeah, I didn't address this earlier, but this is really weird because it's the first time I'm drawing or painting a male in like, gosh, it might be the first time I've ever painted a male person before. Yeah, when I was a teenager, I used to do a lot of drawing, so I'd drawn a lot of males from like anime and manga and stuff like that. But yeah, I can't believe I forgot to even address that. This is the first time. So that in itself is exciting. But can you guys guess who I'm using for the reference? Now, when I use reference photos, I don't like to, I like to add my own twist. I don't like to make it look exactly like my reference. I like to just use it as basic guidance. And then work the little characters of my style within to it and kind of like change up the face in the way that it looks all together without being like 100% true to the reference. I feel like that's what makes art most exciting to me. That's kind of how I feel about realism too. Like, I truly, truly admire artists that are really spectacular at creating photorealistic paintings and drawings and such. But for me, personally, my style is I like to add those hints of abstraction. Is that even a word? I like to add those abstract hints into my pieces as well without it being 100% photorealistic. I feel like that's kind of where I like to just throw in my imagination. Yeah, I feel like that's a major component to my style is because I let my imagination start doing the talking, and especially with the types of things that I paint, like with the nature and the wolves. And obviously, what I'm painting right now is not very realistic, but it's what interests me. And hopefully, since you guys are here watching, it's caught your eye as well and it's something that you guys like. So yeah, back to my Patreon channel. I'm going to be, from here on out, with my future paintings, going to have kind of this tutorial approach and talk to you guys and show you guys how I do what I do and why I do it. Give you my explanation and stuff. Try to give you guys a little bit more than just the painting videos on YouTube. I mean, you guys are awesome for being here. So I want to give you guys more of like a bonus footage. So now I'm going in with my fan brush. Sorry, I should have been talking about, it just like is so bad. Like I get distracted so easily. But I'm going in with my fan brush and now I'm kind of establishing, or more of like playing with, I guess, how I want to approach his hairline. That's too much water there, but that's okay. It's got that kind of like brushed look to it. And then over here, we're getting the wolf's fur started and just kind of the different angles we want to go with. Obviously, the fur is not going to be red, but I like to use these colors again to build on layers. To build onto my painting. I go through several different colors until I have that combination that I think looks how I want it to look. And I know that's something that I personally as an artist need to work on more is color theory. So I feel like that would save me a lot of time, trial and error. So maybe in the future I'll do like a color wheel video for you guys. I don't know, maybe if you like that. All right. So there's kind of our beginning layer. Actually, I do still have quite a bit of red, so we're going to build some more color onto his jacket down here. Oh, do you guys know who I'm using for reference? I think I had started to say that, but then I went on a tangent and forgot. Yeah, you're probably gonna, I don't know. I feel like it's pretty obvious, but if you guys don't know, then maybe we should have a little discussion down there. Let me know what you think it is, and then at the very end of this piece, I will tell you if you haven't guessed by then. All right. We're gonna let all of that sit and dry. I'm at 20 minutes on my timer. And since I'm still new at this and I don't really know how long I have or how long of a video I can upload onto this for Patreon, I'm going to stop here and we will do another part of this after I've been able to see kind of what my time limits are going to be like. So yeah, thank you guys for dropping in today. Hope you guys liked it. We're starting to slowly build onto this painting, and to me, I think this is a lot more fun way of doing this. I'm really enjoying this style of video right now, and recording. I feel like it's pretty exciting because I've been falling into sort of a repetitious style of editing and everything, so I feel like by going in and talking about each piece separately and kind of showing you the creation process a step further here on Patreon is going to be a fun experience. So thank you guys for dropping by. I will be posting an update soon on how this painting is going. So be sure you check back soon. I'll see you guys in a bit. Bye-bye. Thank you so much. I love you guys.